I'm a day off. I feel like it should be Tuesday. But that's because I was off in Mammoth Mountain Ski Area, fluttering about the slopes, at least twice. Anyway, I'm off to teach at Coreology Fitness, and then I'm going to just do my writing and taxing routine. Got to get my tax stuff done. So stay tuned for more later. See you soon. Bye. Hi everyone. I wanted to finish off the day with part of my process for writing my book. As some of you may know, I actually started writing my book in 2005, 2006. And in 2007 is when I submitted the first foreword, intro, and 6 chapters to, as well as the outline and book proposal, to the New York Book Festival, and that's when it won Best Unpublished Manuscript. I went through several incarnations of my book, and I wanted to show you somewhat of my process of how, and this is really just not a writer's process, how to write a book or anything like that. It's more like how to organize for writing your book, because you go through, as a writer, writers edit so much. They re-edit and re-edit and re-edit their own work until it gets down to the finished final draft that the traditional way of saving, revision 1, revision 2, revision 3, that can work if you are the only person working on your book. If you have various other editors, ghost writers, people, marketing folks, different people like that are helping you fashion your book into the complete package that you want, then you have to keep track of all of those edits and whether or not you incorporated them into your finished draft or not. So it's quite challenging, and I've definitely already run into a few snags. So I'm by no means an expert, but I thought I would share some of my process with you. So here we go. Okay, so I have opened up right here my Finder window on my Mac. And as you can see, I've got all these various file folders, and I keep all of my writing in my Lisa's Writing folder. Then over to the right, inside that folder, are all the various things that I have done. You'll note that right here, let's see if I can focus in on that, it says Mischievous MILF This Book and Proposal. So when I click on that, all the various files, I have my bio folder, chapter summaries, chapters, complete book proposal. I mean, it just goes on and on. And finally, what I ended up having to do was I had to take all the different pieces. I had to have one full book proposal that had my bio, my marketing section, my chapter summaries, everything all together. That obviously had to be one component, and then all of my chapters had to start to form what I now call my final book working file. So I moved that. I now have Mischievous Book 2011. I should probably change that to 2012. And in there even are various chapters, intro, things that I pull from as I go along. But inside this folder are all of the different components that make up what is my final working draft. But right here, working book total 2012, Rev 1, March 1st of 2012. So that is my working book that I actually type from. Then when I go in here, I have gone through several different editors. When I first wrote my chapters, I was working with a specific editor who, kind of encouraged me along in terms of finding the voice that I wanted and staying consistent and having things grammatically and correct and with proper punctuation and all of that. Then I kept writing from that point on, still working with her. And then she got to a place where she had to move on to other things in her life, and I crossed paths with another editor who was another single mom published author and who also did editing for textbooks and other things like that. And she took a look at my book proposal and the rest of my chapters and helped me with that. So that's kind of where I left it until last year, when I started sitting back down to rewrite again, and times had changed. Styles of writing had changed. What was popular in the marketplace in terms of the type of book I was writing, all those types of things were factoring in a little bit differently than when I first started writing. So I decided to compile all my chapters together into one book file, which is my working book, Total 2012. And in the meantime, I'm filtering things over to my new editor, Mr. Tom Shanley, who he's just really going through, and I wanted to make sure that there were some things in my book that I wanted to avoid. I wanted to avoid being, there were some certain, how do I put it? There was a certain voice in there that I was noticing that I wasn't real happy with. So we kind of talked about that and some things that I wanted to be jazzed up. And so he goes through a chapter at a time, and when he's done with one chapter, he sends it to me. We talk about it. I accept all the changes or I don't, and then we move on from there. Then in my main book file, what I do is I incorporate what he has done. So let's see where I'm at. What chapter am I on? Okay, this was the last chapter that he gave me, was chapter 3. So you go all the way down to the bottom of chapter 3, and the way that I organize it within my main book file, and this is just me, okay, I'm sure there's much better ways of doing things, is I just make a big bright yellow note that says end of Tom's edits as of 3/1/12, okay? So from there on are all the other chapters that he has yet to get to, or if I've written new chapters. They're in this book or in this file. So that's it. That's how I do it. And hopefully that helps you. And if you have any other suggestions or tips, I'm all ears. I'd love to hear it. But that's it. I'm just working on this stuff. I'm going to finish up with what I was doing here and then sit down to do some taxes, and then we're going to dinner tonight at some friends and going to have a nice time there, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. See you later. Bye.